What is it like living in Germany when everyone thinks that you're a child? It involves ID checks, weird stares, etc. So let's talk about something happens to me all the time in Germany or Europe. People keep thinking that I'm a kid. I mean, okay, I know I'm small. I'm just a tiny Asian girl. I'm not a 12-year-old kid. Hello, this is Cloris. How are you doing? One recurring theme that I always encounter is being mistaken as a child. Let me tell you 7 hilarious stories. Living in Europe as a small Asian girl comes with a unique set of experiences. Some funny, some frustrating, and some just mind-provoking. When I was at the university 6 or 7 years ago, people would guess that maybe I'm 16, 17 or 18 preparing for the university, or I was a freshman entering university. But then when I don't go to university anymore, like when I'm working, I went on the street, people would wonder like how old I was. So when I was in my mid-20s, I came to Germany to study my master's degree in 2018, and then now I'm already in my early 30s, and people still think that I'm a 12-year-old kid, or sometimes they think that I'm 16 or 17 years old. So over the past 7 years, they have never ever guessed correctly my age. A lot of people always assume that I'm a minor. Maybe I should be happy that I just never look older. It seems like I've never grown old. In many parts of Europe, height and body frame often influence how people perceive age. Since I'm petite with soft features and youthful look, local or even Asian people sometimes assume that I'm much younger than I actually am. Apparently, my face and my height don't always send the right message. So story number 1, it happened in Braunschweig, which is in the middle of Germany. I went there with my friends for a day trip. At the end of the trip, we went to the Greek restaurant. So I was with 3 friends. One is a middle-aged lady, and the other was a guy older than me, and the other guy is around my age, and we are all from Hong Kong. So people might think that we are a family because we are at different age, but we went there together. Maybe those waiters didn't think we were friends. Maybe they thought we were a family. And we also share the meals. So at the end, we paid. I forgot if we paid zusammen or getrennt. That means whether we paid together or separate. After we paid, the waiter came to us and gave us back the receipt. And at the same time, he gave us one candy, just one candy, and that was for me. This is so funny because probably the waiter thought that I was a kid, so he just prepared one candy for me, and while the other friends, they didn't get any candies. So, and regarding restaurant, there is a second story. A few years ago, I was in Munich. My friend and I went to a small town nearby for a visit, and then we came across this Italian restaurant. It seemed very nice, so we just sat down and had lunch there. You know, Italian people, they are always like fun and they want to play around with girls. When we were trying to order, the waiter, who was a middle-aged man, came to us. Surprisingly, he asked, "Are you guys sister or mother and daughter?" We were like so shocked. Huh? And then we said, "We are friends." And then my friend was super pissed off because she is even a few years younger than me. But this is just another ridiculous situation, and that waiter was a bit weird. Maybe he was trying to make a joke, or maybe he was trying to give compliments to a mother. That mother really has a daughter. Then he can compliment the mother. "Oh, you look so young and you look so pretty. Oh, you look like sisters." But he completely misjudged the whole situation and made us feel very embarrassed. And my friend was kind of angry at him because he was saying something ridiculous. From my perspective, we just look like friends. And my friend also looks pretty young. And I don't know why he has this idea. It is quite hilarious at the end. Of course, this kind of story don't just take place in the restaurants. It obviously takes place in bars and clubs. So here comes story number 3. When I was in Göttingen a few years ago, when I first started my master's there, I was just hanging out with another friend I met in a party, and she took me to this restaurant/bar. This bar is pretty cool because there is a sand place outside, so it feels like you are on the beach or something, and it's pretty soft sand. It's very nice for the summer. So we went there, and when we were trying to order drinks, we were ordering alcoholic drinks, and then the waitress just asked me, "Can you show me your ID?" We can already tell the waitress was much younger than us. She is probably just around 18. She probably couldn't guess my age, so she was asking me for my ID, and I showed her, and she showed this mind-blowing look, and she was so shocked. And she told me, like, oh, this is unbelievable. And she was a bit sorry for asking that. Maybe for her, she didn't meet a lot of Asians and she was completely shocked. And for her, she really had no idea. She even said she couldn't believe it. Usually people's reactions are very funny because they were thinking I would be around 18, but then at the end my actual age just shocked them. It happens to me a lot already. I'm so used to it. Like long time ago when I was in Macau, I went to a casino, people always checked me, or sometimes I just bought some beers from the supermarket. Some cashier would also check my IDs, but some don't. Some people just don't care. But sometimes when I was with some apparently older friends, people wouldn't check me. The fourth story happens in the museum when I was with my date. I've already mentioned that in one of my old videos here. If you want to know more about my other experiences as a tiny Asian girl living in Europe, please just check it out. It happens on a Sunday morning when my date took me to the museum, Pinakothek, because for Sundays, the entry fee is €1 per person. Maybe for children it's free. And he's a few years older than me, and he has gray hair, just like other European men over 30. It's completely normal, but I just look way younger than my actual age. I don't know how people saw us. When he went there to buy a ticket, I was just next to him, so he bought 2 tickets, and then the lady at the counter just asked me how old I was. I just don't expect them to ask my age when I was buying ticket. I've checked out their website while I'm editing this video, and then I found out that admission is free for children and young people under the age of 18. When I was in shock, my date already told her I was over 30. And then she said, okay, I think I'm a very mysterious person to them. I just sometimes cause unnecessarily awkward moments. But it's sometimes very funny to see people's reaction. But I also wonder if I go out with someone older than me, like him, I wonder if people would see us as like father and daughter, maybe adopted daughter, but it's still like, I think for a lot of time, people really didn't have like bad intention or anything. They were just direct when they didn't know my age. I would just take it as a compliment, even though sometimes it's not very convenient. But that kind of situation happens too many times, so I'm just used to it. And I have to just make sure that I have my ID card with me. Okay, story number 5. I started going to church since March, so I've met some new people and a lot of them have retired already, but they're all very friendly and warm welcoming. I didn't feel like much pressure, and it's just like a social occasion for me to meet some people and talk to people in English, and my friends has been there for years, so even though I couldn't say like I'm religious, I still go there on Sundays from time to time. So far the experience is pretty nice because this church is also a bit more open. So they also accept people who are not baptized to take the bread and wine during the service. For me, I usually just take the bread. I still don't feel comfortable sharing wine with other people because they have this one big cup, but each person would go there and take a sip, but they have this cloth to wipe it after each person taking the sip. Anyway, in recent year, I don't really drink alcohol unless there's some very special occasions like Oktoberfest or something. In my daily life, I don't really drink alcohol. And then one day I joined the gathering after the service with a few people, and then one old lady came to me, and first of all we just had some small talks and stuff, and she was so curious, so she asked me if she was allowed to ask my age. So yeah, I just told her directly, and then her face was like I'm like, yeah, I know, like, but I'm so used to it, like my age always shocked people. And then she confessed to me that she always thought I was a minor. Oh, this poor little girl, her parents were not there to accompany her. Why would she go to church alone? So she has a lot of different questions in her mind. She thought I was underage because I also didn't take the wine. That's why she thought I was not an adult. It's very funny because I think a lot of people have the same question, but some just dare not ask me because it might sound offensive to some people, but I actually don't mind. My friend's age could be even more shocking. I have this female friend and she's also a small Asian girl and she's already 40. And whenever people asked her, people got even more shocked. But she told me once you have gray hair, people would know like you're an adult at least, but they just don't know how old you exactly are. Also in Europe, even a lot of teenage girls around 13, 14, they just look so mature. They look so sophisticated with their dress, with makeup. So sometimes when I don't wear makeup, people would just assume that I'm a kid. I'm so tiny and skinny, so I can understand why people see me as a kid. Speaking of teenage girls and children in Europe, not just other adults think that I'm a kid, other children also saw me as a child, just like one of them. It happens in a park near Stuttgart, and if you're interested, you can check out this video about Stuttgart or Pforzheim. A few years ago, I went to the Tierpark with my friend. So we passed by a playground full of kids, and then we were so interested. We have different facilities in the parks in Hong Kong, so we were very curious about those facilities in the park in Germany. She's a little bit bigger than me, but she also looks petite comparing to other German or European. So we went to try out these facilities. So we tried to climb this thing, and you can see here, and my friend couldn't climb up because her shoes were too slippery, but then I could make it. While I was in there, a girl around 7 or 9 also asked me how old I was. I'm like, oh my god, I was much older than her. I could even be her mother. So I told her, I'm much older than you, just don't ask. And then she said, I don't think so. Ich glaub nicht. She said, you're at most 13. I'm like, no. I'm like, the number is the other way around. When I told her, she was completely shocked. And then I took the slide and left the playground. So yeah, but this is very funny. I think foreigners' age is always mysterious to German people. I'm an East Asian from Hong Kong. While I was studying here in Germany, I had a flatmate who is from Bangladesh, and she also has some similar stories. When she first came to Göttingen without the student card, she had to buy a ticket from the bus driver. So she told the bus driver, 1 ticket please, and the bus driver gave her the tickets for children. So it's like half price. The bus driver didn't even ask her age, he just gave her the ticket for children, which is very funny. One time our landlady brought us to medieval festival. There was a Santa Claus giving out chocolate. The Santa Claus thought that we were children, so we also got this chocolate. I think that's the benefit of looking young. Sometimes you have a lot of stories like this. These days, if I want to be treated as an adult, I would try to wear more makeup to just look more like a lady or look more confident so that people would treat me with more respect in certain cases. But still, even if I wear makeup, I still look younger than European teenage girls because obviously a lot of them are much taller than me as well, and they have like even more feminine body figure. So let's see if I turn 40, will I still look like a kid? And then I can share with you guys some skincare hack. Do you have other funny story related to your age? If you have any, please comment down below. I'll be super curious to read them. If you find this kind of topic interesting, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so I will know what I should share more. Living in Europe as a small Asian girl, I don't just have funny stories, I also have some struggles here as a small single Asian woman. In my channel, there are also vlogs about my travels and some culture related video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!